Today's very heartbreaking news: young and restless Twist Stokes fears that Jill dies. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up before the video starts. They say that the one constant in life is change, but this is one for which we are most definitely not prepared. Over the decades, The Young and the Restless had said goodbye to countless iconic characters, from Lori Brooks to Snapper Foster. And it's starting to feel scarily like it's about to set in motion another seismic shift by letting Jill's heart condition break our hearts. You'll recall that Billy's mom has had trouble with her ticker for years. At one point, she even suffered a heart attack. At this point, Billy is so concerned about the recent downturn in her health that he's looking to shore up mom's legacy. On one hand, if the soap were to lay Jill to rest, it would make sense. It doesn't seem to have any interest in writing her a real story. For the most part, it just brings her out to vote at board meetings and shake her head at the shenanigans of the execs whose immaturity rivals only her own when she was their age. On the other hand, it would make no sense to kill off Jill. For starters, she's perfectly positioned to help fill the void that was left by the passing of Catherine and her portrayer, Jean Cooper. If only the show would write Jill that way. John's second wife also has a rich and colorful history out of which new plots could be twisted. Look, if the powers that be could put Jack in bed with Gloria, whom he despised, they could certainly reignite the spark that led to him sleeping with Jill when she was his stepmother. And she has to feel that there remains unfinished business with Victor, whom she was once sure she was destined to marry. Can you imagine the shades of red Nikki would see? Young and Restless could also bring back a blast from the past in Keith Dennison, with whom Jill was involved in the 90s. If he returned to town, he could bring daughters Megan, played by Ashley Jones, now Bridget on Bold and Beautiful, and Tricia, whose history of mental instability could provide the show with its next crazy Aunt Jordan / Cameron Kirsten type. In the quiet corners of Genoa City, where secrets simmer and alliances shift like sand, the residents of this restless town are no strangers to the unexpected. But even in a place where drama unfolds like clockwork, nothing could prepare them, or the viewers, for the latest twist in the ongoing saga. The looming fear that Jill Abbott, the indomitable matriarch, might be facing her final days. It all began with a series of unsettling events that left the town buzzing with speculation. Jill, who had always been the embodiment of strength and determination, began exhibiting signs of distress. Her usually sharp demeanor dulled, and whispers of her declining health started circulating. She was seen less frequently at Chancellor Industries, her life's work, and when she did appear, her once commanding presence seemed diminished. The first real shock came when Jill collapsed during a tense board meeting. Her son, Billy, rushed to her side as panic spread through the room. The scene was nothing short of chaotic, with worried glances and hushed voices filling the air. The ambulance was called, and Jill was whisked away to Genoa City Memorial Hospital, leaving everyone to wonder what had just happened. As word spread, the speculation only grew. What could possibly bring the unstoppable Jill Abbott to her knees? Was it stress, overwork, or something far more sinister? At the hospital, doctors ran a battery of tests, and the results were far from reassuring. Jill had been diagnosed with a rare and aggressive illness, one that required immediate and intensive treatment. The prognosis was uncertain, and the news hit her family like a tidal wave. Billy, in particular, was devastated. He had always had a complicated relationship with his mother, but the thought of losing her was something he simply couldn't bear. Meanwhile, the rest of Genoa City held its collective breath. Jill had been a fixture in the town for decades, a woman who had fought tooth and nail for everything she had. The idea that she could be taken down by an illness seemed unthinkable. Yet, as the days passed, it became clear that this was no ordinary sickness. Jill's condition worsened, and her once vibrant spirit began to fade. The fear that Jill might die has sent shockwaves through Genoa City. For some, it's a reminder of their own mortality, a wake-up call that even the strongest among them aren't invincible. For others, it's an opportunity to reflect on their relationships with those they hold dear. As the town waits for news, the Abbott family is faced with an impossible decision. Should they prepare for the worst, or hold out hope that Jill's fighting spirit will pull her through once again? Billy, in particular, is torn between his desire to be strong for his mother and the overwhelming fear of losing her. His past mistakes and unresolved issues with Jill haunt him, and he's desperate to make amends before it's too late. In the end, the fate of Jill Abbott remains uncertain. The town of Genoa City is left in suspense, waiting to see if the woman who has survived so much will be able to overcome this latest challenge. And as the days turn into weeks, one thing becomes clear. Whatever happens, the impact of this twist will be felt by everyone in Genoa City, for better or for worse.